What's up everyone, this is Ryan here, back with another video. Today in this video we are going to be going over how to drive a manual transmission vehicle. So first off, I want to start with some of the basics, right? Start off with the shift knob. So in every car you're going to have a shift knob. Most of them are going to have the gears labeled here at the top as well as the reverse gear. So mine, like normal, is going to have first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and then every car to get in reverse is a little bit different. For mine, I have to lift up, push to the right, and then pull back. That is how I get into mine. Some cars are going to be pushed down, slide to the left, up. Some are going to be to the right. Some are just going to be to the right to get into it. Every car is different, so kind of research on what car you're looking to buy or what car you're looking to drive and figure out exactly how to get into that reverse mode. Okay, so next up, we're gonna talk about how to actually put the car in a gear. So I'm not gonna do it because it'll mess up my car, but if I just slid this to the right and pushed it forward, it would not go into gear. And that is because we have to use what's called our clutch pedal. So down here at the bottom, most cars are gonna have your two normal pedals, which are here on the right. This is your gas and this is your brake here in the middle. And this is your clutch. So with your left foot, you're always gonna use your left foot for the clutch. This is what allows you to be able to put the car into a gear. So like I said, if I were to just slide this over and try to put it in gear, it's never gonna let me. But as soon as I push this in, now I can slide it to the left and forward, and it will allow me to put it into first gear. Now, right now it's in first gear. If I were to just let off the clutch, the vehicle would do what's called a stall. It would just shut off completely, and you'd have to turn on the car and redo all the steps, right? So in order for that to not happen, we're gonna take it out of gear and to put it in neutral. So neutral is the middlemost position, and this is where you can slide it left and right, back freely without using the clutch. So if I let go of the clutch, I can slide it left and right and it doesn't do anything, which is good. Like I said, we have the e-brake on. In order for the vehicle to move, we must first turn off the e-brake. Now, how do you do that? Some cars is different. Some cars you have an electronic e-brake, which is just a push little button that you have to mess with to be able to turn it off. My car has an official e-brake handle, right? So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make sure our foot is on the brake. We have to make sure we have our foot on the brake. We're gonna push that in. You're gonna lift up at the same time as you push this button to be able to pull it down, right? Now the e-brake is completely off. As you'll notice, if you look at the tach, there's a little red icon at the bottom right. If we have it on, it's gonna be illuminated. Once we turn it off, it goes away, okay? So now we're gonna get into the portion where we actually move the car. So again, we're gonna have to put it into gear. So we push in our clutch, which is the leftmost pedal. We're gonna slap left, up. That allows us to be in first gear. Now, like I said earlier, if I were to just let off the clutch, the car would completely turn off and you'd have to restart everything. So in order for that to not happen and be able to move forward, I'm gonna show you something real quick. I'm gonna show you what's called the bite point. So if I slowly let off the clutch, hopefully you guys can see this, the RPMs automatically drop, right? And the less I'm grabbing the clutch, the more it'll go down. So in order to get the car rolling, we have to let off the clutch until it hits that bite point, and whenever it hits that bite point, to get it over the edge, we have to add a little bit of gas. Now, depending on what vehicle you're in, if it's a sports car, you may have to add a little bit more gas. If it's just a, you know, a normal everyday economy car, sometimes you don't have to add any gas. So I'm gonna show you. We slowly let off the clutch and we're gonna add some gas as we let off the clutch, and that's what will allow us to move the car forward freely. Let me put on my seatbelt here real quick. And so we're just in first gear, moving freely. And you could drive like this for an hour straight if you really wanted to. I definitely would not recommend that. However, you could. Now, if we want to come to a complete stop, we must first push in the clutch, which is the leftmost pedal, and then we can push in the brake, continue to hold the clutch. And now, like I said earlier, if we were to let off the clutch again, without adding gas, the car would automatically shut off, right? So we must put it into neutral, which is the position where you can move it freely left and right, and then we can let off the clutch. Now, even if we let off the brake, the car's still gonna roll back a little bit just because we don't have our e-brake on. So to turn on the e-brake, yank it up, okay? So let's do that one more time. So e-brake is down. We push in the left pedal, which is the clutch pedal. slide it into first gear. Now we slowly let off the clutch, and as we see it biting, that's when we add gas, and we slowly let off the clutch, and now we're moving. Okay, so let's do it one last time. Park right here real quick. So pushing the clutch, brake, put it neutral, right? So to get it rolling, pushing the clutch, put it in first gear, let off the clutch slowly as we start to move, right? Just make sure I don't get hit. All right. Now, what we're gonna do next is get the car shifting into other gears other than first, right? So in order for that to happen, we must go through all of first gear to get to the second gear and then third gear, so on and so forth, right? So we're gonna push in the clutch again, put it in first, let off the clutch as we add gas. And now once we get going, let me get out of this little parking lot here real quick. And remember, anytime you're coming to a stop, you always want to push in the clutch pedal first and then the brake. That's only when you're coming to a complete stop. If you just want to slow down, you do not have to use the clutch. And later on in the video, I will show you how to do rev matching. So we're revving it up. Most cars right around the 3,000 mark on the tachometer, that's when you're gonna wanna shift. So whenever you get to that point, you're gonna push in the clutch, you're gonna pull it into second gear, add gas, and let off the clutch slowly. And now we're in second gear rolling, and that allows us to get a higher speed, right? So now, again, once I hit 3,000, I push in the clutch, I move it to third gear, which is middle and forward, let off the clutch and add a little bit of gas, and now we're in third gear. We're gonna do one more gear, and then I'm gonna show you guys how to go down in the gears or come to a complete stop from a higher gear. All right, so let's do it one more time. So we're at 3,000, push the clutch in, move it to fourth, add gas, let off the clutch. And that's gonna be the smoothest way possible for you to be able to change gears in a manual transmission car. All right, so now I wanna show you guys how to do what's called a downshift or a, well, I'll show you guys rev match here in a second. I just wanna show you guys how to do a downshift. So basically the process is the same except reversed, right? So it doesn't matter what RPM you are at necessarily, you're going to push in the clutch, shift it back to the previous gear, and let off the clutch slowly. And now I'm in third gear, and as you'll notice, the RPMs will rev back up to what they were before I had shifted, right? And so now there's a stop sign coming up, right? So what do I want to do? I want to push in the clutch, move it into second gear, that was the previous gear, let off the clutch slow, and now the car will rev up on its own. And now, since we're getting closer to the stop sign, we can push in the clutch. Now we can hold our brake, and we can put it back in neutral, right? Neutral's this free position. We're gonna go this way, so we put it back into first with the clutch in, let off the clutch, add gas, and now we're freely moving. All right, so push in the clutch, shift, let off. One more time, push, boom. Now we're gonna make a left turn, so we push in the clutch, back into neutral. And now we're gonna put it back into second this time since we're already freely moving. All right, we're gonna go, 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 go. Push in the clutch, shift up. Go, 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 go. And you don't have to be at exactly 3,000 RPMs. If you're wanting to get up to speed a little bit faster, you can go up to 4 to 5, you know, whatever you need to be at. Go ahead and shift. And then we're gonna come up to a stop sign here again in a second. There's the stop sign, I see it ahead. I'm going to push in the clutch, downshift, let it off super slow. If you yank it, the car's gonna jerk back and forth. It's gonna be all crazy. Clutch is in, we're in neutral. All right, we're gonna do this one last time, and then I'm gonna show you guys how to downshift with rev matching. This is the quickest way to be able to, basically when you downshift, the RPMs go up, right? So if you were to yank the clutch off, the RPMs would go up super fast and the car would jerk because you're at higher RPMs, right? So in order for that to not happen, if you want to do it quicker, you have to do what's called a downshift, right? So what we're gonna do this time is we're gonna push in the clutch when we're downshifting, and we're gonna tap the gas pedal for it to be able to match the revs for the previous gear, right? So if I were to push in the clutch right now and shift, see how it goes up to 3,000? So in order for that to not happen, we're gonna go ahead and automatically rev match it so that way the car doesn't jerk. So we're going to push in the clutch, rev, and then let off, and that's smooth. You guys won't be able to tell in the video, but it's smooth, right? If I wanna shift down to second, I push in the clutch, rev, let off. And you still let off slow, it's not a herky-jerky motion. Let me show you guys how to do this again. Clutch and shift. Like I said, you don't have to shift at 3K. If I want to do this, I can shift a little bit higher. Now, let's go into third or fourth real quick. Now I'm going down a hill. Let's say I want to slow down a little bit so I can put my foot on the brake. I can push in the clutch, hit the gas, let off slow of the clutch. Now we're going to slower speed. We're gonna do it one more time here at the stop sign. Pushing the clutch, downshift, rev at the same time. So it's kind of like a 1-2 motion, same time. And that is how you downshift a car. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go again. Clutch and shift, let off. Clutch and shift, let off. You have to let off slow. Don't let off super quick. It's one of the most common things that I see when people are learning how to drive a manual. They let off too quick and it's very herky-jerky. One more shift, clutch in, shift. Once we get over this hill, we'll do a quick little downshift all the way to second once we get to the stop sign. So now we are getting close to the stop sign. It's where that white car is up there in front. So we're gonna go ahead and push in the clutch, shift, and rev match at the same time. So you're gonna shift, rev, let off, slow. Brake, bam, just like that. We'll go ahead and take a left. And that, guys, is how you drive a manual transmission. Now, it is definitely not easy to learn. I have taught people under 10, 15 minutes. The secret is reps. You have to do as many reps as you can and stay consistent with it and practice every day if you can. Maybe your brother's got a car that's a manual transmission, or your sister, or your dad, your mom, uncle, whoever. Try to get them to allow you to be able to practice on a car that's cheaper. Don't go practice in like a Lambo that's a manual, because more than likely you'll do what's called stalling, which, like I said, you'll let off the clutch too fast or won't rev it high enough and the car will just automatically turn off. And you don't want that to happen. That is bad for the clutch, and clutches are not cheap to fix. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below and I would be happy to answer. Other than that, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure you subscribe down below, as well as like the video. It really helps me out.